In TV streaming, we have a fairly unexpected, though still significant update on the Gen V situation. Star Wars dropped a trailer for a new series that we gotta get into at least a little bit. And Walking Dead Daryl Dixon already has a trailer for season 3. And then a little bit more, so let's go. Hello, nerds! This is the weekly TV news show. Not like the evening news with Tom Brokaw. No, nothing like that. This has more to do with TV shows, nerdy-oriented TV shows, as well as episodic content that you will find on streaming platforms. If this is your kind of thing, then you can check out the full episode that I like to call The Week in Nerddom that covers all spectrum of pop culture and just generally nerdy things over on the main channel. You can find it linked down in the description or at the end of this video. All of that being said, let's talk about TV shows and nerdy stuff like that. Okay, follow-ups in TV streaming. We have a big one. This was kind of our big lead for the section, right? It's Gen V. Season 2 for Gen V. When last we checked in on this, they were still trying to figure out how they were going to move forward after the death of one of their main actors. And now they're done with principal photography. They have wrapped on principal photography for season 2. So we are not that far away from getting the second season of Gen V, which is super exciting and also super interesting to see exactly what they decided to do to write out. I'm going to brain fart his name because I didn't put it in the notes because, say it with me, class, I take amazing notes. That's right. But yeah, so set to be released in the year of 2025. That's all we know for certain. As once the release window narrows down, we'll talk about it and we'll do more follow-ups and stuff, but let's move right along. We have another casting thing going on with Lanterns. We got Garrett Dillahunt has been cast in the series for Lanterns over on Max. I mean, you're going to recognize his face. He's kind of a character actor that's done a lot of things. So that's what we got. Let's move on. Now let's get into trailers, and this is our other big one, I think, for the episode. It is Star Wars Skeleton Crew trailer. This is, honestly, I might have this in the wrong section. I think it might be, I'm pretty sure it's a series. I can't remember. That's why I put it in the TV stuff. I'm pretty sure they're billing it as a series though, and not as a movie. So if it is a series, or if it is a movie rather, and not a series, please someone admonish me hard in the comment section because I feel really stupid for not remembering whatever. But we do have a trailer for it either way, so we get to see where they're going with this. Now, I've heard a fair amount of criticism about this trailer because it seemed the opinion of some is that it seems lazy because they're basically just filming it in California in like real world areas and then doing minimal amounts of post in order to make it look like it's otherworldly, right? That it belongs to Star Wars. And I can see how that might be a little bit of an issue. And also people are taking issue with the apparent feel of this series, again, I'm going with series because I'm dumb, but they're criticizing the general feel of this because it feels derivative of like the Goonies, or I forget the other comparisons that it's drawing, but Goonies is a big one. And why is that bad? Like, I'm failing to see the issues. Like, yeah, some of the shots look like they could be just lifted out of some generic B-roll from that was shot in the state of California somewhere, Southern California specifically. But like, we're being critical of Disney for doing these things and spending all of this money on something that we don't care about, that isn't good, right? So that's been a constant criticism, is that Disney is just not doing good things with these properties that we love. And then when they go take measures to cut down budgets like this, obviously that's what they're doing. They're keeping the digital stuff to a minimum in those shots where it's obviously shot on the streets of somewhere in Burbank, California or something like that. We're critical of that. And then when we say that the Star Wars is not supposed to be so dark all the time like they've been trying to do with their series of late, And now we have something that is very obviously lighthearted and is kind of geared towards kids. I would say largely geared towards children, which is kind of how Star Wars began, right? It was supposed to be a family movie. It wasn't supposed to be this dark, brooding thing that it became in the last couple movies. So now that we're getting that again, we're going to be critical of that too. Like, yeah, the tone feels a little Steven Spielberg Goonies, sure, but the Goonies is a very highly regarded movie in the nerd community. So if the biggest complaint about this is that it feels a little bit like the Goonies, I'm going to call that a win. I'm going to say that is a good direction to be heading in, because then at least we care. Then at least we want to watch the damn thing. And we're not, and I don't understand this criticism culture that we live in, where everything needs to be gone through with a fine-tooth comb and then torn apart because it doesn't fit exactly with what we were expecting. Now, when it's something like The Acolyte that is obviously breaking mythology that has previously been established, yes, let's pick that apart and expose it to the light like we should. But when it's something like this that obviously isn't going to be like The Acolyte, then let's just see where it goes. Give it a second to breathe, and then we'll start to pick through it and see exactly if it holds up to scrutiny. And it doesn't have to hold up to the same level of scrutiny, because it's going to be unrelated to the other things that we've already got. So, like, I think this is a fairly safe play, but also a good play on the part of Disney as it pertains to Star Wars. So that is my little soapbox. I'm going to step down now. The show begins December 3rd. Another interesting criticism, and this is one that I legitimately gave it to, is the music in this trailer. The Major Tom, it's not the David Bowie one. It's the one that's supposed to be the sequel to the David Bowie song. I can't remember exactly who wrote it, but it's that song. They just changed the language into, I believe that's Hutt-ese. That was kind of a weird choice, but otherwise, December 3rd is when it starts. Let's move into our next trailer. This is an interesting one because it is Daryl Dixon, which season 2 literally just ended. And we already have a trailer for season 3, and they're going to Spain, and we see Carol and Daryl in Spain. It is a very short, like, teaser trailer, but still, we have footage from season 3 already. I'm stoked. I haven't watched the final episode of season 2 yet, but super excited for this. Yeah, go check it out. Link in the description for all of these. And then we have another trailer. This one is a new Taylor Sheridan series. We've talked about it previously. Landman. November 17th on Paramount Plus is when this one starts, so very, very soon. Taylor Sheridan, obviously the guy that brought us Yellowstone, and then all of the spin-off series from Yellowstone, and then King of Tulsa. Also going to be starring, presumably, Billy Bob Thornton, Demi Moore, and Jon Hamm in this series. So, yeah, excited, interested. Let's watch. That's what we got for trailers. We have no regular S news this week. We only have our suggestion. So, suggestion this week is going to be another revisit to The Penguin. We have one episode left in the one season that we're going to get for The Penguin. So, there's a lot of loose ends that they're going to have to tie up, and I'm super intrigued in how they're going to do that, because like we need to see things that we need from Penguin by the end of episode 8 for The Penguin is we need to see Oswald be the big mafia boss. Like, he doesn't have to be well established. He just has to be the only option. Also, are they going to kill off Sophia? Because I feel like Sophia Gigante, when she becomes Sophia Gigante, this is Falcone Gigante in the books, I don't think she dies. I think she's just kind of, she comes back when it's convenient for whoever's writing the book. So are they going to kill her off in the series, or are they going to give maybe her a spin-off show? Are they going to maybe bring her into the new Batman movies? Like, there's so many questions about what's going on. What the hell's going on with Vic? Is Vic going to actually become Victor Zsasz? I don't think that's the case, but there are a lot of people who are asking that question. So, like, let's get all of these loose ends wrapped up, maybe leave a little string into the next Batman movie, and that's where we're at. It's super good though. Like, the first couple times we talked about this was Colin Farrell, and the makeup. And now let's talk about Sophia and the Christina Maloney, I think is her actual name, Milotti, just Kristen Milotti. Kristen, yeah. She's like, she can hold her own. And then the lady who plays Penguin's mom also is doing an incredible job. Like, this is just an actor's tour de force. Juice, maybe not so much a great actor, but still sufficing in the role that he has been put in this show. I don't remember the actor's name. I just remember he played Juice in Sons of Anarchy, but like, this show just won't stop being great, so you should be watching it. That is your suggestion for TV this week. That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.